Before I start this review, please allow me to tell the story of how I got into the Dragon Ball series. Young Cameron used to wake up at 5:30 AM every day and would turn on Toasted TV so that he could watch his morning cartoons. But there was one show that was always on before Toasted TV even started. Dragon Ball Z. I distinctly remember seeing the original Vegeta fight out of context and being so confused of why there was a giant monkey. But, despite the show being strange, it fueled a powerful feeling inside of me. Hatred. As a kid, I hated the art style. Nothing made sense and every episode felt like forever, considering the Saiyan saga lasts 35 episodes, which was the longest anything had ever been for 5-year-old Cam. These bad thoughts stuck with me until high school, when I had vague memories about a massive monkey fight, and rediscovered Dragon Ball, and now it is one of my favorite series of all time. I love every aspect of it now, the fights, the characters, the art style, and even the filler episodes. And those once found memories are now good ones for me, so with a series that has been with me longer than things like Pokemon and video games, I was naturally excited for the cinematic release of Dragon Ball Super Broly. And whilst I was in Japan last year, there was tons of advertising for it everywhere. There were posters, they were playing the trailer on giant screens everywhere, and they were even playing Blizzard in the streets. So this brought my hype for the movie way up. Now that I've finally seen it, did it deliver on all the anticipation? The short answer is absolutely. Okay, so I don't know where to start this, other than I loved everything about this movie. The animation, the art style, the characters, the plot, and even the music. This movie delivered on everything I wanted. So, let's jump right into the praise. First off, the animation. The animation in this is the best the series has ever seen. They had the budget of a movie and they had their best people in this, and it really shows. The animation is so fluid, not just for the action scenes, but for everything. There was just a massive smile on my face every time I saw a character appear because it looked so good. The fights were also amazing because of this. They were easy to follow, and yes, the fights even looked epic. Just look at the transformations, that transition is clean. Another key part of what made the animation look so good was a new art style. The shading is much more simplistic and the colours are much more vibrant. It looks so much better than the style used in the TV series where they all look like they were covered in oil because they're so shiny. Even the scenes where they use CGI worked, and that is rare for a 2D art style to look good when transitioning into a 3D art style, and it has looked bad with Dragon Ball before. All of the characters looked great in the style, from Goku to Beerus to Frieza to Piccolo, and the new characters also looked great. Speaking of characters, they're just as you expect them. Of course, Goku and Vegeta are good because they've been around for ages, and even characters like Bulma and Frieza are revealed to have much more similar ones than expected. But the real shine for me was with the new characters. The title character, Broly, is much better here than he was in the past. Personally, I hate his old design, so his current one is a major step up, and he actually has a character this time with a personality and future in the series. But almost every other character, aside from these two, I loved. Paragus' design is much more appealing to me as he rocks that pink and space fanny pack. I also love seeing an old Saiyan for the first time. Cheelai and Lemmo were very close to being my favourite characters, and I can't wait to see more of them when the series comes back, and even minor characters like Beats I loved the design of. The plot, although simple, considering it's just to allow the fights to happen, works, and yeah, there is good humour and it's memorable. There isn't a dull or forgettable scene in the whole film. Even the setting is pretty unique for Dragon Ball since it takes place in a snowy area, which is different than the typical rocky terrain, although it does turn into a pretty generic area towards the end of the film, unfortunately. The soundtrack is really good and fairly unique, from the main song Blizzard to a robot version of Chala, and then it turns into a fighting game menu for a bit, and then it hits you with that funky music towards the end, and I just soaked it all up. This was easily one of the most enjoyable movies I've seen in a while, and it was such a great experience for me, although it may not have been for others, lol. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball and you haven't seen it yet, then why not? And if you haven't, I can't really recommend it since it would be a bit hard to tell what's going on, but if you just want to see some cool fights and good animation, then this is your movie.